So I'm guessing you have an idea of who Cody Ko is, or at least I'm assuming so because you clicked on the video. Well, he's a pretty big YouTuber with 6.11 million subscribers, and recently a conversation has been called to question on his ethics with another YouTuber by the name of Tana Mongeau. A video was uploaded to YouTube recently by D'Angelo Wallace saying that they had to have an unpleasant conversation with Cody Ko, and the video relates to a lot of allegations being brought up against Cody. Or mainly just one allegation in particular that we need to take a look at.
Of this podcast, about a month ago, she hosted a live episode in front of an audience, and the conversation turned to you.
Who's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my god, no one look at me, Cody Ko. I can say that. I was literally 17, I can say that.
This clip started making the rounds, and people were understandably perturbed, because if Tana Mongeau was 17, you would have been 25. So
now this evidence is obviously disturbing because, well, this means Cody Ko was messing around with a minor when he was 25. And Tana Mongeau actually went on another podcast to explain what she meant by this statement, because she knows that she's accusing him of a literal crime. This is statutory assault, so let's hear what she had to say.
I hooked up with Cody Ko when I was 17 and he was 25.
She claims that not only were you fully aware of her age at the time, but someone even tried to stop you and you went ahead anyway.
There was a situation with Gabby Hanna at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked.
So she goes on the record to set it straight that Cody Ko knew about her age before they had hooked up with each other. And a lot of people are actually on the defense of Cody Ko with this one, saying that he's only 25 and she's only 17. Just so you know, that's still very illegal. Even in states where the age of consent law is 16 or 17, there's a Romeo and Juliet law in that state that tells you what ages you can and cannot hook up with. And from what I've seen with most Romeo and Juliet laws, the age that you're allowed to hook up with is 3 years older than you. And 17 plus 3 is not 25, so Cody Ko would still technically be committing statutory assault, even if he was in that situation. But he was not. The age of consent was 18 in Florida. D'Angelo Wallace also goes on to clarify that Cody Ko would still be in the wrong if all of this is true.
18. I started kind of hooking up with other people. Shout out JC Kalen, shout out Cody Ko.
But what lends the most credibility to Tana's claims, and what is really the most damning thing for you, Cody, is a clip that you might not have even seen yet. See, I read the Rolling Stone article, I watched the YouTube videos about this, and they all missed something. And I understand why. The clip I'm about to show you is extremely hard to find. The original has been lost to time, and it's a wonder we have this on video at all. But if there was anything to give me any more clarity about these allegations before I formed my opinion, I was going to find it. Remember how Tana said that fellow YouTuber Gabby Hanna tried to stop you before everything allegedly went down? Well, did you know that Gabby is actually on record telling the exact same story several years ago?
One time, I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage, watch it. And he's like, oh my god, thank you for telling me. And then he turned that.
This video was found in the lowest resolution possible, probably recorded on the first ever camera. I don't even know how he managed to find this video clip, but the clip speaks for itself. It obviously incriminates Cody Ko and backs up Tana's story. Now you may be wondering, why are people still at the defense of Cody Ko? It's because they don't like Tana Mongeau. And that's something that Tana Mongeau herself was pointing out, saying that if it was literally anybody but her, there would be more sympathy. Or if it was someone that was less liked than she would also receive more sympathy in this case. And I honestly do have to agree to an extent, because in the game of the internet, people generally care more about popularity than anything, and how someone looks more than anything. There are cases of people like Nova Online getting called out for talking to minors, but then other bigger TikTokers never having their name mentioned because they just happen to look hot. I mean, not too long ago, we were dealing with cases of like Nova Online who were getting called out for talking to minors, but then no one would ever mention the Lopez brothers, who were doing equally terrible things, but they were hot, so they kind of got away with it because girls don't really want to cancel guys who are hot, and we've seen that all over the place on TikTok. But this is the place of YouTube, and I'm wondering why a lot more people didn't call this out when it happened. I honestly didn't hear about it because I don't talk about Cody Ko, nor did I even know who he was really. I never really watched the content. I just heard about this case from Moist Critical, who is someone who actually spoke on why he didn't speak about what happened with Cody Ko. He said that he heard about it at the time and went to look for the videos and incriminating evidence, but he was unable to find anything, so he left it alone, assuming that it was just false news in the wind.
Surface, and he texted me like, are we good? And was like, I said, yeah. And like, he was like, my wedding's coming up.
You do have a history of making bad choices when you're terrified of people finding things out, like your history of using slurs. There's more clips than that, but the reason most people are blissfully unaware of them is because you posted your vague apology not on Twitter, not on YouTube, but on Patreon, despite acknowledging in your apology that the clips were surfacing on Twitter. This is one of many examples of your poor handling of controversy. Not many people know that you've already lost fans over an eerily similar topic.
We're going to get into the next topic in a few seconds, but Cody Ko locking his apology by paywall is one of the worst things you can do as a content creator from what I've seen. Now, I remember there was a case back in, I believe, 2020, where Digital Princess left her child outside on the freeway and decided to lock her apology by OnlyFans. That's a terrible thing to do. It's making people pay to hear you say sorry when you should just say sorry. If you're truly sorry about something, it's not going to be behind a paywall. It's going to be publicly to your audience. That's obviously a terrible thing that Cody did, and hopefully he doesn't continue to do that for what's about to come up.
Really similar topic. You used to frequently feature and promote your college friend Colby Leachman in your videos until it came out that during your school days, Leachman's university put him on probation for, as a United States District Judge would later put it, the non-consensual videotaping of a sex act with another student, showing the video to other people, lying to the police about the video, and behaving horribly to that individual and at least one other woman. To make matters worse, the woman in the video also alleged that Leachman drugged her before the recording and that she hadn't actually consented to anything at all. You had this man in your videos. You were telling us to follow him on Instagram, and at some point you did wise up, so he's no longer part of your content, but he still seems like he's very much a part of your friend group. From the continued hangout since then to inviting him to your wedding just last year, people are under the impression that you're best friends with someone who, at best, committed an illegal sex act and at worst is an alleged rape.
That right there, in my opinion, is a little bit unexcusable. He's an alleged assaulter. And I am going to use the term alleged, but personally, if I found out someone extremely close to me committed assault and it was around when we became friends, I probably would not be friends with that person anymore, personally, because that's a terrible crime. And I am acknowledging that it's alleged, but for him to cut him off in the videos and then put him in the behind the scenes seems a little bit fake to me. That's honestly how it's coming off to me. It feels fake. It feels forced. He's obviously still friends with the guy if he's coming to your wedding. So you clearly didn't cut him off. You just got a little bit of backlash, decided to put him out your content, and still feature him in the background of your other content because it seems like he's still posting photos with him on Instagram.
Incidents that, with the exception of the H3 podcast, I haven't seen a single channel over 1 million subscribers do so much as acknowledge that this situation exists. And I'm not talking about channels that never would have discussed something like this either. I mean the same channels that were rightfully calling out people like Dr. Disrespect for texting a minor, which are the same channels that are now completely ignoring a scenario with an even bigger creator being accused of doing something much worse. You can't say it's because the allegations are unconfirmed, because the channels that I'm talking about discuss rumors all the time, and this video is all the proof you need that there's still plenty to discuss even without making definitive statements.
I do believe he's absolutely right here because I'm only seeing channels under 1 million subscribers talking about this even after everything's come out, with the exception of Moist Critical and I believe Mudahar, but up to my knowledge, I haven't seen Mudahar or Moist Critical ever really have a conversation with Cody Ko. Moist Critical talked about it in extent in his own video, but it is really important to notice that a lot of people are choosing to talk about other people, but not Cody, which means they might have a closer relationship to Cody, and maybe Cody's telling them something different. But if they're telling him something different that makes them believe that they're not a predator, then why isn't Cody telling the story to his audience? Clearly, he needs to speak out about this situation because this is a serious allegation. This is a crime.
But you won't. But now your cowardice has reached a new low. You've tried speaking and you've tried silence, and now you're choosing censorship. On your YouTube channel, where you've been pumping out content nearly every day now, I couldn't find a single comment on your last video about this situation. Not even one. Comparing that to the comment section on your Instagram, where every single comment I saw was about this, it's clear that you're heavily censoring your audience on YouTube.
This is actually a fact, and it's extremely true, and I would like to note that this news has actually reached Cody Ko, so he's actually stopped deleting all the recent comments after this video went up, and after Moist Critical's video went up. He stopped deleting all the recent comments because he got called out on this exact topic. I even did a study on this. I went to his videos just to see if all those comments were getting deleted. And I'm proud to say the internet never ceases to surprise me with something, because I get to the comments and all it is Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us lyrics. Like, I'm seeing 69 God over there. I'm seeing probably a minor. He's trying to strike a chord. Sometimes I love the internet. And he can't actually censor everything because this is getting to his wife's page now. People are going to Cody Ko's wife's page, leaving all the same comments that they're leaving under his main videos. But yeah, the internet's going to turn this into a joke because, well, trying to strike a chord and it's probably a minor. Okay, I gotta stop. I don't know if I'm allowed to sing that. But anyway, I'm a little bit disgusted by the Cody Ko situation because this is not the way you're supposed to handle controversy. And you're supposed to give a proper apology, not behind a paywall, assuming he even gives an apology for this. I will say, I've noticed in a lot of these scenarios, people choose to ignore it nowadays rather than address the controversy because controversy does go away. But when you make an apology for it, it just stays there. And it's been evident with every single case of being a YouTube predator, which I'm sad to say is happening more and more frequently to the point where I have friends who are literally making bets on who the next YouTube predator was going to be. And sadly, I wasn't expecting it to be Cody Ko. Mainly because I do like to assume people are better than, becoming a chomo. That's the word I have to use because I can't use the other word. But it's only a matter of time before Cody Ko has to respond to this entire situation. He can't just leave it in the open, leave it out on the table. Someone's going to say something. And now that some of the biggest creators on the platform have called him out, Moist Critical, I'm assuming Mudahar is next, maybe Oompaville after this, Cody Ko has no choice but to give his response. And if he keeps playing the long game and waiting, it's not going to turn over well. And it's going to turn over even worse if he does give an apology. But I estimate that it's probably going to happen within a week of all this drama going down. And I'm pretty interested in what he's going to have to say, or if he's going to have an actually good defense for everything that has happened, or if he's just going to say something along the lines of he didn't know Tana's age. But it seems from all the clips that he was very aware of her age at the time and very aware of the acts that they were going to commit together. But anyway, that's all I have for today in this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you like the commentary, and tell me what you think about this in the comment section below. Also, I got a new mic, so let me know how the audio sounds. Bye!